All right, let's talk about what it really takes to build a software team that doesn't just perform, but absolutely excels. We're going to dive into the core foundations, the things that separate the truly great teams from the ones that are just, well, good enough. We're talking about 4 pillars that can completely change the game.
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, in a world where pretty much every company is a tech company now, being able to ship valuable software fast and reliably, that's a massive, massive advantage. So what's the secret sauce? What's that thing that great teams have?
Well, here's the thing. The answer isn't as simple as just slapping an agile label on your team. That's just the start. Real high performance comes from building 4 specific, interconnected capabilities right into the DNA of your team. So let's break them down, one by one.
So let's kick things off with pillar number 1, execution excellence. Think of this as the team's engine. It's all about the how, the actual nuts and bolts mechanics of getting work done. Not just once, but consistently and reliably, over and over again.
You can almost think of it like a steady heartbeat. A great team has this predictable rhythm. They're not just scrambling and working hard, they're working smart. They figured out how to organize themselves to deliver a constant, steady flow of value to the business.
So how do you actually get that rhythm? Well, it comes down to a few key things. First, working in short sprints or iterations. This creates this incredible focus. Second, having a super clear definition of done. That's basically a shared agreement on what finished actually looks like, so there's no guesswork. And when you combine those, you get the third piece, a predictable delivery cadence that builds trust with everyone. Okay, let's move on to pillar 2. If execution is the engine, then you can think of clear requirements as the GPS. It does you no good to have a powerful engine if you're driving in the wrong direction, right? This is all about making sure the team is building the right thing.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out. The difference is night and day. When there's confusion, what do you get? Wasted work, frustrated people, and blown deadlines. But clarity? It's a total game changer. The team is aligned, they're focused on what actually matters to the business, and you slash the amount of rework. The impact is just huge.
So the big question is, how do you get that clarity? It's not magic. It really boils down to 2 critical practices. First, crafting really effective user stories that force you to see the world from your customer's point of view. And second, being ruthless about prioritizing that work based on real business value, not just on what seems easy or fun to build.
On to our third pillar, and this one's a big one. Lean product thinking. If the first pillar was the how, this is the why. This is the strategic brain behind the whole operation. It's about asking, why are we even building this in the first place?
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. For so long, engineering was all about proving you could build something complex. The challenge was technical. But modern, high-performing teams, they flip that script. They spend almost all their energy on that second question. Should we build this? Is it actually valuable? Does anybody even want it?
And the way they do that is by treating every single idea as a hypothesis, just an educated guess that needs to be tested. The whole goal is to run experiments. You build something small, you measure its impact, and you learn from real data. And you have to be brave enough to pivot or even throw away ideas that the data proves are wrong. And that brings us to our final pillar. And honestly, you could argue this is the most important one of all. It's the team structure itself, the who. Because, none of those other pillars really matter if your team isn't set up to succeed in the first place.
You see, for decades, we organized software work like it was a factory assembly line. A business expert has an idea and hands it off to a developer. The developer codes it and throws it over the wall to a QA team. Then the QA team tests it and passes it off to an operations team to release it. And every single one of those handoffs is a place for delay, for miscommunication, for things to just go wrong.
So the solution is actually pretty simple in theory, but it's a huge shift in practice. You blow up the assembly line. You just get rid of it. Instead of passing work between these different silos, you bring all the skills you need into one single unified team. So a real cross-functional team has everybody it needs to get a feature from idea to live in production, all in that one small group. You've got your developers, your QA folks, your DevOps people, even the business experts. They're not in different departments on different floors. They're in the same meetings, working on the same goal, together as one unit. Okay, so let's tie this all together. And this is a really critical point. These 4 pillars are not a buffet. You can't just pick and choose your favorites. They're all interconnected. They all support each other. And this really shows how it works. It's a complete system. You see, a unified team is great,
but they can't do anything without clear requirements. And all the lean thinking in the world is useless if your team can't actually execute and deliver. And of course, having excellent execution doesn't matter if you're building the wrong thing. You need all four of these working together to create that high-performance machine.
So I want to leave you with this one question to take back with you. As you look at these four foundational pillars, just think about your own team for a second. Where's your biggest opportunity? Which one of these, if you really focused on improving it tomorrow, would unlock the most potential and make the biggest difference?